Hello and welcome to Chart of the Day Cafe for Tuesday, May 29th, 2018. Just want to read our disclaimer quickly. Trading stocks is a high level of risk and viewers should complete their own due diligence on any stock or underlying that they intend to own. 100% of the content of this video and communique is intended for journalistic and educational purposes only. This video and all indicators, strategies, and articles herein should not be construed as investment advice, not making any recommendations, always for your further homework. Morning, Sue here. Hope you had a great weekend. Looks like we're getting an interesting start to the day. It's going to be softer on the open for sure. Geopolitical events around the world, specifically in Italy, seem to be spooking the markets, so we'll see what happens throughout the balance of the week. But with that, let's get into today's video. I always start my videos off with a look at the Russell Index. I use the Russell as my simple proxy for the markets overall. As long as the Russell is moving higher, I'm adding new names to my watch list. When it's moving lower, I'm being extra cautious and getting defensive. And I always like to step back and take a look at things from a bigger picture point of view. So we're looking at the IWM, which is the ETF for the Russell Index, and we're stepping back to take a look at it on the 5-year monthly chart. I've taken away all my drawings. The only indicator on the chart aside from volume is this blue line, which is the 8-day EMA. I use this as my guide on just about every time frame, daily, weekly, monthly. So as you can see, here is the candle shaping up so far for the month of May. We only have a few trading days left in the month, so far bullish. Having said that, the last several months have been tricky in this area, right? So this is January, price was rejected up here, February, March, April. So here we are in May. Will we remain with this bullish look on the candle? We will see. I'm going to put my drawings back in, and I apologize because the chart does get a little cluttery. This is long-term support down here, the blue line. Orange is medium, pink is more short-term. The most important line to me on the chart is this black diagonal line. Why? Because it held price in on the Russell through all of 2017, provided a guide in the latter part of 2017. Price popped up and over my black diagonal line, but sunk down below it in February, was not able to close above it in March or April. So I like this line. It's been very true to price and offering some reference here in this area. So that's the look on the monthly. So just as a reminder, in this area where we want to be extra careful. But now I'm going to swap it over from the 5-year monthly to the 2-year weekly. Same black diagonal line, same other lines. As you can see, price on the weekly is up and over the blue 8-day EMA, which I use as my guide. Last week we had this doji close on the Russell. You want to be careful when you see a doji, especially on the weekly. We'll see if price starts to retreat here and roll down this way, in which case, if it does, I'll be using this black line as my reference point once again. Or was it just consolidation for a move higher? Time will tell. We will see. That's the weekly look. Let's take a look at the daily. So here we are on the daily chart. This is the blue 8-day EMA. Price is up and over the blue. And so I will be putting a new chart forward this morning, but being extra cautious in this area. And the chart that I'm featuring for you this morning and adding to our watch list is Goldcorp Inc. This is a dual-listed Canadian gold mining company. In Toronto, it is listed under the ticker symbol G, and in the US on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol GG, Goldcorp Inc. We are looking at it on the US side. Before I get into the chart though, let me tell you a little bit more about the company. As I mentioned, it's a gold miner. It's one of the largest ones in North America, based out of Canada. You know me at Chart of the Day Cafe. I am all about the scores underneath my charts. They have to meet very strict criteria, specifically for value and growth. And I can tell you that Goldcorp has an excellent value score, along with a forecasted earnings growth rate going forward of 26%, a current PE of 24.22, and it has a small dividend yield of 0.71%. So with that, let's get back to the chart. We're looking at the 5-year monthly chart. What I want you to see from this 5-year monthly is this slight uptrend and the basing pattern that may be happening here. We will see, time will tell, but I really like the look of this chart. I like the scores underneath it. So 5-year chart, it started to pick up in 2016, had this lift, came back to support, and has been really consolidating in this area ever since. Is it time for it to lift? Time will tell, but I really like the risk reward that I see shaping up right here, right now. So let's move it away from the 5-year monthly to the 1-year weekly. Zoom it in a little bit. This area here, this is the same black trend line. I like this double bottom formation here, the lift. And I'm going to draw a little area of support right in here. We're going to kind of pull it in to improve our risk reward on it. So this is the area that we're focusing on, the consolidation here, but let's get into this area. So I'm going to move it away from the weekly to the 3-month daily. So you can see how it consolidated. It had this lift last week. We'll see what happens today, but I know everyone has their own way of doing things. For me, I like to see price up and over this blue 8-day EMA. Specifically, I am using a 3 and 8 cross. So I like to see a really good chart with great scores underneath it, lifting off an area of support. So I've identified support here. It's got a 3 and 8 cross. I do not currently own this, but it would be interesting to me. What I would do is put a stop right under this candle here. So my stop is going to be a little different from support, right? And I would be looking for Goldcorp to, if it's going to lift here, continue with a nice strong candle up from this area here. So I'm going to put, as I always do, my little green circle on the chart and say I'm looking for lift on Goldcorp. Will it happen? I don't know, but I like the look of this chart, and it would definitely be one to watch for me. So I'm looking for lift from this area and into my green circle, and then from there I will just monitor it. Whether you use a weekly or a daily way of monitoring it, but I use the daily, and I want to see price up and over the blue with the pink trading above the blue. I hope you understand that. Along with my new watch list pick, I also like to take a look at the sector that it's in, and for that we're looking at GDX, which is the ETF for the gold miners, 5-year monthly chart, so bigger picture. You can see that it came in the latter part of 2015. It kind of based, and then much like Goldcorp, it had lift from there. Again, these are the monthly candles, monthly chart. Came back in, consolidated through all of 2017, and so far still consolidating. So we'll see which way gold wants to go, but with the scores underneath Goldcorp, I would think it would be one of the first ones picked up should this sector start to lift and tick up from here. And again, I like that risk reward that I can measure on the daily chart. Along with that, I like to also go over to equityclock.com, which is an excellent site, and take a look at seasonality for my new watch list pick. So this is the seasonal chart for Goldcorp. You can see at this time of year, it comes into that time of seasonal favor. No guarantee that happens again this year, but always good to know. I also like to spin over to finviz.com, a site that I love and refer to all the time, to see if I've got analyst support for my new watch list pick. And as you can see, in January of this year, it was upgraded by Credit Suisse from neutral to outperform. There's also an article down here, thestreet.com has upgraded. It's a more recent upgrade. They've upgraded Goldcorp to a buy. So also good to know. And to quickly recap, let's go back and check the boxes. I started today's video with a look at the Russell index, and we note that we're getting off to a very soft start to the day, and the Russell is in an area where price was rejected over the past several months, so we want to be extra careful here. But having said that, price is currently up and over the 8-day EMA, which I use as my guide on both the daily and weekly charts. We looked at the chart for Goldcorp. We looked at the 5-year chart, and we note that in the last 2 years, it's showed a little lift and consolidation and may be ready to lift in this area. Emphasis on May. We will see. We looked at the sector chart that Goldcorp is in, GDX. Like Goldcorp, we looked at the 5-year chart. It had that little lift at the beginning of 2016, has been consolidating sideways, and may be ready to make a decision as to which way it wants to go. We will see. Goldcorp has a great value score. These are highlighted because they're most important to me. Great value, 26%. A current dividend yield of 0.71%. It does have that 3 and 8 EMA daily cross that I look for. I don't currently own it, but I want to see it lift and move up into that green circle area that we identified. It's got analyst support, seasonality in its favor, current PE is 24.22, and it looks as though their next earnings date might be July 25th. Thank you for watching today's video. As a reminder, they go out every Tuesday and Thursday morning. It'll be an interesting next couple of days for sure. We'll see you Thursday.